Just a reminder that extending is 95% to 100%. Proficient? PRF. Proficient is 80 to 94. Developing is 70 to 79. Emerging is 50 to 69. And IE is 0 to 49. Now, some people are like, what is with this enriched nonsense? What is going on with that? What you can do is with your enriched grade, if you want to, I just didn't have time to do it. I have to do it individually for each person. And so it would have taken a lot of time. I just do it once at the end of term. Okay, but if you want to know, you take your enriched grade. Let's say I got 50%. Okay, I'm going to make my math nice and easy. Say I got 50% on the enriched category. I would multiply that by 0.03. Okay, that would give me 1.5. And then let's say my overall grade was 83. I would then add 1.5. And I would get 84.5. Okay? So that's how enriched works. If you're interested, you can do that for yourself. Or you can just hang out and say, my mark is going to be slightly better than what I've got right now. Is good? Don't forget, several people said they would come and see me this morning to do test corrections, and nobody came. So if you would like to come at lunch today or after school, you may do so. Tomorrow, Flex, I am not available. I run a tutorial, okay? So you can come any Flex except for Tuesday, not available Tuesday Flex. Okay, if you want to come at lunch, though, make sure you let me know before I leave, because otherwise I will probably go to the staff room. Yes? So if you want to make some improvements on your test, come on in, lunch after school, or Wednesday to Friday Flex. Okay, but not tomorrow. Yes? Okay, that being said, we are on approximately page, no, that's not the one I want. Nope. Yeah. We are on page 70. So last day, we learned one way of classifying the elements. We learned the blue, the purple, and the pink. And the blue ones were the metals. Remember, the periodic table is mostly metals. Everything is metals on the left-hand side. Non-metals are pink, and they're all on the right-hand side except for one of them. Who is the one that's kind of weird? Hydrogen is also a non-metal, okay, and it's over on the left-hand side, okay? So non-metals are all the pink ones, and then we have our other non-metal there. And then in between the metals and non-metals, we have the metalloids. Last week, we also learned that the rows that go side to side, what do we call the things that go side to side? Periods. And the things that go up and down are called groups. Okay? And today, we are going to learn what some specific groups are named. Okay? Not all the groups have names. Group number 1 does, though, except for hydrogen. They are called the alkali metals. But remember, not hydrogen. Why is hydrogen not an alkali metal? Because it's not a metal. Okay, so everything in group 1 is an alkali metal except for hydrogen. Group number 2 has a similar name. They are called, and I'm going to write a little smaller here because it's a longer name. They are called the alkaline earth metals. And if you don't have room, feel free, you can write down here as well, metals. That's group 2. So the alkali metals are, if you look at your periodic table, actually I could do it up here, that would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? The alkali metals are lithium, sodium, potassium. Why are you not moving? Rubidium, cesium, francium. Okay, and the alkaline earth metals are radium, barium, strontium, calcium, magnesium, and beryllium. Okay? So those are the 2 metal groups. And then we have a category of metals that is all of groups 3 to 12. These guys are together. And together they are called the transition metals. Okay, transition metals. So that takes care of groups 1, 2, and 3 all the way through 12. Now groups 13, 14, and 15 do not have names. You can call them, actually, and 16, you can call them the boron group, the carbon group, the nitrogen group, the oxygen group, because those are the elements at the top, but you don't have to. You can just call them group 13, 14, 15, and 16. All right, you can just call them by their numbers. Group 17, though, the second to the last group, is called the halogens. Halogens. So that would be your, way over here, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Those are all of your halogens. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, and then the weird one at the end, astatine. And finally, the very last group is called the noble, and it's B-L-E if you're interested in spelling. If you misspell it, it's okay, but it's B-L-E, not B-E-L. Noble gases. And I think they're called the noble gases because they tend not to react with things. So if you think like the You know, if you've got a king of a country or a queen of a country, maybe she doesn't mingle with the commoners too much. And that's the noble gases. They don't mingle with the other elements. They don't react with them and form compounds. Okay? Now, down at the bottom, we have these two groups. Remember, these are metals. Also, these guys here are called the lanthanides. Now, if you're like, how on earth am I going to remember that one? That's a really weird name. Don't worry. I've got your back. On your periodic table, everybody make sure you have your yellow periodic table out. If you do not have your periodic table, let me know and I can get you an extra one. Who needs a periodic table? Anybody? Anybody need a periodic table? So you're going to look on your periodic table. And you're going to look at that first row below the periodic table and you're going to say, oh, what's its name? Lanthanum. And guess what the name of that row is called? The lanthanides. We got lanthan. So would you care to tell your partner what you think the name of the next row might be called? And if you said actinides, you are absolutely correct. Okay? So we have alkali metals, alkaline earth metals, halogens, noble gases, and in the middle, the transition metals. And at the two rows below, we have the lanthanides and the actinides. So you guys can now go and use your periodic table and this little chart to figure out which group each element belongs to. Don't just write the group number, write the actual group name, okay? So go ahead and do those ones. Page 70. So the overall Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Sometimes when I'm stressed, I think
Okay, I know some of you are not done yet. I will let you finish that for homework. We're going to move on to page 71. And we're going to get rid of these little diamonds here because I don't want them. So get rid of the little diamonds. Now, first of all, this one is one of the trickiest ones because it's actually in two different places. And that is the main group elements. Okay? The main group elements are both groups 1 and 2. So these guys are the main group elements. But they're also, so it's group 1 and 2, but it's also groups 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Those are also the main group elements. Okay? And do you remember what we call groups 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? What do we call 3 through 12? Those are the transition metals. So there's a whole bunch of different ways to categorize the elements. There's metals, metalloids, and nonmetals. There are by row and column. There's the alkali, alkaline earth, halogens, noble gases. And then there's these bigger sort of groups, the main group elements, the transition metals, and then we have the inner transition metals. Now, these are quite long things to write. So you can classify these elements as either main group elements, MgE, transition metals, or inner transition metals. So give those ones a go. Okay, page 71.
No, because you can take that. No, I know. It can get
No, they don't actually have numbers. No. Yeah. Yeah, if we. Yes, just for your interest. The law of the reality. You get ready. No. Yeah. So you probably have.
I just like,
I wanna go.
And then she.
I want to play. That's it.
Why did you sometimes? Oh, because you get to make one of
There you go. Okay. So we have uranium.
Tin is, no, it's metal. It's like.
I think that's what she was. I'll give you another one. I said actually.
It is right here, my God. Iron.
Because if you got it, Oh, my grandma. My grandma's going to put go like there.
Fire being so.
No, because I felt like grandma started. My grandmother makes crazy stories. Where? He's like grandma.
Bob.
Okay. So that's, again, I'll let you finish that for homework. And we are now going to go to page 72. Or actually, we've only got 5 minutes left. Yeah, that's okay. We'll go to page 72. It's all right. There is nothing new on page 72. Page 72 just tells you the main group elements. On this one, they're green. Sadly, on yours, they're just a different shade of gray. Everything is a shade of gray. Okay. They're all the same. Yeah, I know. They're not even very good different shades of gray. They're just kind of like all the same. So don't even worry about it. Maybe next time I'll just make them like white so you can color them in and give you guys some pencil crayons. Okay. So we can actually skip to page 73. We are going to learn how to separate the metals and the non-metals on the periodic table. Okay, so we're going to go to this little diagram here. And we're going to start at the corner of boron. Okay, we're starting at the corner of boron. This is on page 73. And you're going to draw straight down, just on the side of boron. And then you're going to go across. And then you're going to go down. And then across. And then we're going to go, guess what? Down. And then across. Oh my gosh. And then down. And then across. And then down. And then across. And then down. And sometimes we don't care about the metalloids and we just ignore the metalloids. So sometimes we ignore the metalloids. And so that means that we just classify them as either metals or non-metals. And we just ignore the fact that there's some that are kind of in between. So if we do that, what we're going to do is we are going to shade in the non-metals because there's a lot less shading involved. If you have a highlighter, you can use a highlighter, okay? If not, you can just shade it in with your pencil. And don't forget that hydrogen is a non-metal. So that's going to be everything here. So you should be able to draw that staircase and label the metals and the non-metals. And helium is also a non-metal. And then I might label that for myself, non-metal. Everything else is non-metal, or sorry, metal, is metal. And now we're going to very quickly, in the next minute, learn the first 3 properties of metals and non-metals. I want you to think about a quarter. Can you think about a quarter? Is it shiny? Yes. Metals are shiny. What state is a metal? What state is your quarter? Solid. Okay? So metals are solid. If you think about holding a bar of lead or iron, is it dense or is it not dense? Is it heavy for its size?
Yeah.
Yes. So its density is high. In other words, it's heavy for their size. And I said we'd go through the first 3 today. That's all we're going to get through. Your homework is to finish, if you did not finish, all of 69, or actually all of 68 to 71. Finish. You should have most of it done already, okay? Hi. Oh, you're done already and you're just like, let's get it done. Excellent.
68, 69. Oh, what? Oh, I didn't see
Can
that.
I have a look at it? I'll bring it back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We're more interested.
Okay, then.
It's like a collection of. Oh, I see. You are welcome.
See ya.